Good evening, all. Ira Epstein, and I'm doing one update tonight, not all the normal ones. I had to go today back to the doctor. They had to fix a few things that they had to do. I have to go back tomorrow, and they made me promise that I'm not going to stand up 40 minutes or whatever to do all the updates that I normally do. So let's take advantage of this tonight and just get to where we're at and cover it for the stocks, the ETFs, and the metal markets all in one tape. Short, no charts. Just going to leave the board up behind me. And today is Thursday, the 30th of October. In a nutshell, anytime you're getting these crazy moves that are back and forth, the stock market up another 300 today, down 300 and so on earlier today, up 100 in the Dow and so on. You have to understand what's going on. The market is absorbing a lot of information. Over the past 3 weeks, you got rather dramatic in prices. You went to $4,400 in gold as an example, fell back to $3,900. That's not normal. These moves that you have right here, if you jump in, understand what you're doing. You're in a bull market. You're probably going higher over time, but you're buying the upper Bollinger Band on the weekly charts and everything but the Russell. I'm not saying it can't go higher. I'm saying it's not generally the thing that I'd recommend you do. I'm looking at energies, wanting for you to come in temporarily on the long side of the market. I still see that as the place to be. I am concerned. Here's the bean market. It's down tonight again. Why is it down? Didn't we just hear that China was going to buy 3 years worth of beans, large amounts? There's something not right there. And when something isn't right and it doesn't smell right and it looks all wrong, I back away. That doesn't mean that I'm not itchy in the finger to make some trades. I am. They're not there. Did you look today at Spider's ETF stocks? Everything basically tanked today. Now, you're coming back up tonight. You could be a lot higher than this in the morning. I don't know which way. But what I do know is the volatility is so large that normally is a sign that the market has to digest it and consolidate that to get yourself back on track. You're coming to the end of the month. A lot of people do some window dressing in there. Let them do that. That's all right. In the dollar, pretty stable here at the 99 level. I see nothing there. When you look at the other metals, they still look fine. Don't know why the copper market got hit pretty hard today at one point and then came back the way that it did. Bonds and notes have been doing another thing. They're adding. You heard what I said. They're adding yield. They're not taking it down. We just saw the Fed cut rates, and yet we keep adding the yield. So the market is saying the Fed sort of gave you a warning sign. If Congress can't open up the government, that the Fed isn't prepared to just say, hey, let's go again in December. You have to build that into your thinking. On the other hand, the stock market is saying, no, that's not reality. The reality is when they get the data, they'll see that the job market is weakening and where you're at. I loved today that Reagan Airport in Washington had to shut down for a bit because of lack of staffers. This is how you make the play work. You get to the point in the market where you create enough havoc, if you will, especially to those in Congress, going home for their long weekend, which they did, without resolving anything. Let them sit at the airport and see what the average guy is going through. They're not flying their private jets. That's not what's going on. There's problems that they're going to have there if they're doing their travel. And what we have to get to, ideally in the next week or so, now that the president is back, is finding a way not to get an agreement done to find the big solutions for the health care and all today. What you have to do is get the government open and agree that you'll address that now as the government reopens. So I don't want to stay here too long. Back's hurting right now. They told me this would happen to me, and they said I will be fine tomorrow. But what they did, they promised me I'm going to have some pain here, and I should just be short on it. So I wanted to get this done for tonight. I'll be with one and all tomorrow or Saturday. Remember, tomorrow's Friday, so I will be doing the weekend updates and so on. I'm looking really forward to it. Have yourself a great evening. I didn't want to disappear again. Take care.